Okay. So last week on Friday we did this same training, but we only had like 4 of us, and it ended up being really good. And so we wanted to do it again to have everyone else involved. So basically, it's using your surroundings to your advantage. So when you walk up to a door, it's using everything that you got, all your pieces of ammunition. So from one of the previous trainings that we did, we talked about ammunition, all the things that you can use, from the bugs to the companies that other people are with, to the neighbors, to the size of the home, to how wealthy they are, to the ethnicity of the person, to if it's a guy or a girl. Use everything to your advantage. And so that's the ammunition that you use. So Bryn made this, and I don't necessarily know why he did all this, but I guess that's because like a girl is opening the door really small like that or something. I don't know. He started laughing and made everyone else laugh. So it was funny. But you're going to meet all sorts of different types of people this summer. In Jersey, if you're going to Jersey, you're going to meet probably 80% of the people you're going to meet are going to be Punjabis or Indians, what we call Punjabis. Punjab is just a place where they're from. It's like a city called Punjabi.
It'd be like calling someone a Texan.
Yeah. Or Houston. Yeah, something like that. Along those lines. But the way you become the best salesman possible is by taking in all your surroundings and adapting to each situation. So instead of talking about any of these, because I don't necessarily know what he talked about, let's just start with the first example. Okay, so say you walk up to a door and this is what you see. You see a little kid's bicycle, you see this house, you see God is green, bumper sticker, and then you see this on the driveway. Talk to me. What would you guys think about the house that you're walking up to?
Probably very hands-on type people, seeing as they have their yard is taken care of, grease stains in the parking lot.
Okay. Okay. Logan, what do you think? What would you see?
God is green means they're very eco-friendly. They'll be worried about chemicals. Bike means they have little kids. Looks like a daughter, so they're going to be worried to take care of her.
Okay.
Nice house. And is that an oil spill in the driveway? Is that what you're talking about?
That's an oil spill in the driveway.
The man's car's
So
not
it
home.
means, yeah, so the guy's car's probably not home. Could be old because it leaks.
They're poor. They don't fix their cars. They're old cars.
Probably not that much.
Okay. I'm thinking too deep.
So there's 2 things. This means like the guy isn't home, so you're probably going to be talking just to the wife. Or it could also mean a lot of people park outside, and so they use their garage as storage space. And if they use their garage as storage space, it always means they have a lot more bugs in that garage. Because wherever there's clutter, there's always a lot more bugs. Okay? This one. Josh, what's your first thought on this one?
I hate it. Or yeah, they purchased something from a summer sales person already.
Okay.
There's a good chance they could buy something from me. Are we talking about the sign?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Tyler, when he sees this, he just like lights up like a schoolgirl. So he loves it because every time you see them, you're like, all right, they're already suckers. They bought a security system which was $5 grand. They can easily use $400 or $500 pest control. Simple as that. Andrew, what do you see?
What is that?
It's a mud dauber.
This is a mud dauber nest.
Oh,
This
it looks
is a type of-
like to me it just looked like it was gone. Like looked like it was part of the home was gone.
Oh no.
Maybe
So this is the doorway. And these mud
That's-
dauber nests, they nestle in up in the corners, and they create these columns like this. And so a big thing Bryn likes to do is what he digs into them and rips them open, and you can see all the larvae and the eggs that are coming out. Yeah.
Is that a handicap ramp?
Yeah,
So they probably can't reach those places.
exactly. So they're gonna have someone else do their pest control most likely for them.
Probably old.
Okay. Most likely older. Okay. All right, this one. Justin, what do you see?
Sure license.
Their fence means that they probably have a dog.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I would say with their fence. That or they like their privacy.
Okay.
Um,
Logan, what does the wood mean in the fence? Do you see a wood fence?
Potential termites, carpenter ants in the wood, being bugs that like wood will be drawn to that.
So 2 big things: carpenter ants, carpenter bees. A
Wasps
lot of
will
them-
get in there too.
And wasps too. They nestle in up underneath these areas, or they dig in underneath at the bottom. And so if you see fences like that, a lot of times it means they have a lot of bug. Even if it's just like a pole fence, like metal poles, they get into those poles, those wasps do, and they lay their nests in there. And so I've had a couple sales just based off of that before. Nate, what do you see? Hill.
I see the fact that he's a fire rescue guy, and I had a lot of those guys ask me to show him a permit this summer.
Okay.
Logan was on the same page.
Okay.
They're also sweet to sell though, because they're always way
They're way
Like-
cool. They're a lot of
outgoing guys. So they're fun to talk to.
Absolutely, definitely. Bryn says, I remember Bryn when he was explaining this one, he said that he made a sale just because he used a fire rescue term in his pitch. And so using what you have, using what you see is big on your sales ability. You just got to find a way to connect with these people. That's what you're doing. You got to have all the ammunition you can get when you walk up to this door. So when you see this house, you see obviously a 2-story, they have this big fence around the back. Emphasize the eave sweep, that's a big thing. They obviously keep their house nice and clean, so you want to focus on those kinds of things.
Also, those peaks on the top there are probably too high for our guys to reach with the sweep. So make sure you're really clear about explaining that part of the service.
Very true. In certain areas. Not in Jersey this year. Because they got some 30-foot poles.
They do.
They got some big old things.
So I'm not gonna have to
Really?
service my own place.
Is that right?
Exactly.
Steve did.
Joe, you inspected all of those?
All the poles.
What?
He said something. Or something. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Actually, Nate, you also. What do you see when you see this?
No, it's Indian, man. Smoke.
A swastika? Man killer bee nest?
So this symbol is actually a Hindu symbol in their religion, and they have it on every single door. You will see this, or you'll see the whatever Jewish people have on the side of the door with a scroll in it.
Star David.
No,
That's
that was
scroll.
well, with the scroll in it. But yeah, Star David is
Always
also.
tell Indian, man.
But yeah, anyways, you see these different things and you know where they're coming from. You know how to connect with them. You know they're Jewish, you know they're Hindu, you know they're Indian, you know they're white people, you know they're black people. You can tell by the things around you.
That nest is
You gotta get to
trippy
know.
looking. What is that?
Logan, go ahead. We'll get to that in 1 second.
What am I responding?
Whatever
Your
you were
thoughts?
going to say, yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna read the situation, so sorry.
Oh.
Keep going with what I was saying.
Okay, so this is a beehive, okay? A lot of them you'll find won't be that big. They'll be a lot smaller at the start, and sometimes they won't always be active. But if you see this on the house, you gotta learn how to use that to your advantage. You don't want to point it out right away when you knock on the door and say, oh hey Mr. Customer, you see the giant beehive you have there? That's a dumb way of doing it. You gotta do your normal pitch, and then get into it as you go by talking about the bees that most people are seeing. You know, a lot of people are seeing the bees in the air, especially up in the eaves, like this one right here. You see that big old nest you got up here, and you get into it that way. Very simple, very smooth, yet very calm and considerate of their feelings. Because no one wants to know that they have a gigantic beehive sitting on their house. No one wants to know that they have cockroaches floating around in their bathrooms or in their kitchen. And then what's that? Ants. Ants. Piss ants, you can call it. I mean, don't use piss ants with every person. If it's an old lady that opens the door, you don't want to use the term piss ants. They'll hate you for that.
I don't know, some old ladies are pretty like.
Well, yeah, if you get to know
Ones
them.
that are spunky,
talked
they'll
to
start
someone
hitting
on the
you.
It's true. Okay. But you have this as your ammunition when you walk up to the house. Okay? Alright, what do you guys see here?
Kids.
Hockey fans.
Jeremy.
Jersey Devils.
New Jersey Devils. Yep.
Sports
Big
fan.
thing you'll see out there in New Jersey, or in Connecticut you'll see Boston, Red Sox, or Bruins, or
Instant
like that.
opportunity.
now what would you do? Yeah, what would you do if you saw that on the door?
I would start talking about sports.
Okay, right off the bat, or would you work your way into it, or how do you? Logan, what do you think?
I always work my way into it. It's like, you're not a Devils fan, are you?
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, yeah, of course you're. I'm like, oh, it sucks. Or like, crack some sort of joke like that. It's like, I'm a Wild fan, I'm a Minnesota boy. It's like, it's pretty good something to bond with. But I would still do my initial startup, like, Logan with Terminex, just blah, blah, blah. And then, like, kind of notice it.
Yep.
Like, are you a Devils fan? And then crack a joke, breaks the ice.
This is what truly distinguishes the regular salesman who just do their simple, stupid pitch every single time, and and the people who can actually adapt to the needs of the person. Because when you see stuff like that and you don't point it out, you are missing out on a huge piece of ammunition, and you're missing out on the point that shows that you are a real person. And you're not some robot just talking about getting rid of their bugs and stuff like that.
That's so super good to know. Like for that reason, it's good to know, even if you know almost nothing, like a little bit about the teams or what's in the area.
Yep.
So you can just,
What do you see?
Well, I think the Star Wars thing, that means they probably have 4 kids and they're Star Wars nerds. So you could probably play off
Or
of
they're
that a
just
bit.
funny, one of the two.
Or they're just funny.
Yeah.
I love that.
But you got to be able to bring these things up when you're on the doors and be comfortable with it. So all the other trainings that we've done in regards to the sales cycle, the bugs, metaverbal, verbal communication, body language, you got to know that stuff like the back of your hand. This is what distinguishes you as a 300, 400, 500 level account rep. Is what talking to people and really being real with them. Yeah.
Just things are noticed too. You walk up, it's a stecco house, which means they're going to have mud daubers or wasps. Like stecco and brick, it's almost a sure thing.
Absolutely.
The
Yeah.
shutters too. My divers get behind the shutters.
Definitely. Shutters are huge. Always point out the shutters. Good job, Jeremy. Well done.
They obviously put pride in their yard. So one thing I'd focus on is the granular that they're going to put around the house. That's not only going to protect their house, but kind of help out with the plants too, to keep out plant-eating organisms, from eating it. So that's what I see with that house. And then kind of going back to the Star Wars thing. Me personally, I probably wouldn't start dipping in on Star Wars because I don't know anything about Star Wars. But they obviously have kids, so before telling them, hey, we have a child and pet-friendly product. You know what I mean? So you're hedging a concern before it actually arises. Because if you start talking about pest control, they're going to get immediately turned off. Oh, I got kids. I'd never get anything like that. It's dangerous. I heard it killed someone once. You know what I mean? By telling them, hey, we got a child and pet-friendly product. We use really safe products before you even get into the fact that they have kids.
Definitely. A couple other things I noticed. Big trees around the backyard. Big trees always have more bugs. Just the way it is. You have that as another piece of ammunition when you walk up to the door. Okay, Josh, come up here. I'm gonna give you 2 examples. I'm not gonna tell Josh what I'm doing, but 2 examples of knowing. Okay, if you know this stuff like the back of your hand, if you know body language, you know the pitch, you know how to do all these different things, but don't use this, I'm gonna give 1 example of that, and then 1 example of him being able to actually use something like this in his pitch. Okay, you'll kind of see what I mean right off the bat. Okay? Go ahead. You're gonna pitch me.
So I'm going to pitch you, and you want me to
This is my house. You approach the house, and
just pitch you.
Yep.
Okay. And house, did I see any of this up here? Or I'm just looking at that.
so what I want you to do is focus on the fact that you're focused still on the basics
Okay.
of going up, doing your normal pitch right off the bat, and then getting into that. I want them to see how you still need to do your normal pitch before you get into this,
Oh, okay.
because there's going to be customers, like what I was planning on doing right off the bat, is just not even opening the door barely and just talking to him through the door. Because you still have to be able to talk to the guy. You still have to be able to get through to him and let him know what exactly you're doing. But just do a normal pitch and try and work your way into this.
You want this? Something?
Sure.
Is that a no? No. Hey man, how you doing?
Hey there, man. Sorry to bother you. I'm sure you're real busy.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm not sure if you've seen a few of our trucks in the area.
No, not really.
Oh, okay, my name's Josh. I'm with Insight Pest Solutions. We're actually getting a handful of calls here in the area now that it's starting to warm up. We're getting calls about those tiny little ants, a few of the spiders, and some of those wasps that are getting in the eaves.
Oh yeah.
So what we're doing is, I'm not sure if you know the neighbors. Let's see, they're about 4. You know the Johnsons?
Yeah, I know them. Don't really like them.
Okay, yeah, not too many neighbors know each other.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to be servicing them tomorrow because they're getting a few of those ants, kind of like those ones that are right there. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But my tech's going to be out here tomorrow, and I have a few more openings in his route. I'm trying to fill them out.
Yeah. Cool.
So if you can kind of be flexible with me while we're out here, we're doing an indoor-outdoor service with our pet and child-friendly product at a little less than half of what it normally is.
Cool. Well, I think I'm good. I actually gotta get going to work right now. I think we're pretty good. We don't see too much. we're normally not really in the house very much.
No, I get it. It's still like the beginning stages, but let me show you what I'm talking about. He's actually getting some of these ants right here. Are you guys just getting them on the outside? Because he's seen a few downstairs in the basement. It's not a big deal, but he's seen a few in the basement near the water heater.
Not downstairs. We get some in the bathroom every once in a while.
Oh, no kidding. Are you guys getting the little ones or are you getting some of the big ones? Because some of those carpenter ants are in the area too. Those are the ones that actually chew up the wood.
Oh, yeah.
So are you guys getting those big ones
We
or the
used to
smaller
get
ones?
those, but I treat for it myself for the most part. So.
Okay, but what were you seeing right now then? Are you seeing those tiny ones?
Just the
Are they
small
exactly like this?
Yeah, just like those ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you what we're gonna go ahead and do for you. That we're gonna do for him is you said you're seeing in the bathroom.
Yeah, in the bathroom. Yeah.
Okay. We actually use a child pet. Do you have any kids?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, no kidding. How many kids do you guys have?
Love them, but 4.
Oh, you guys have 4 kids?
4 kids. Yeah.
Cool. I have 3. What are the ages?
They're all. What's it called? Quadruplets. Yeah.
Oh, quadruplets. No
Wow.
kidding. That's rare.
It's crazy.
That's rare. In vitro?
Take care of those
In
Yeah.
vitro? Oh, in vitro.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's normally how you get the quads. Anyways, I hear the schools are pretty good around you. You guys happy with it?
Yeah, I mean it works out pretty well. Take them off into school. I get to go to my sports. Cool.
Cool. You didn't tell me how old are they?
5.
Really? 5. I got a 5-year-old too.
Oh really?
What are they into?
Hockey.
At
It's all
5?
hockey around here, yeah.
At 5, no
She
kidding.
didn't leave out of skate before they know how to walk.
Well, you guys big hockey fans?
Yeah, that's obviously.
Yeah,
Jersey
I
Devils.
couldn't notice your husband putting up the flag.
Okay. All right. You notice how when you go through the sales cycle the first time, you really don't use any of this. It's once they're starting to put up some walls every once in a while, you got to break through it by talking about those types of things. He did a great job.
But I get, like what Logan said, you got to actually pitch them and get into business first before you start, jawing it up.
Yep.
I mean, it's just like, hey, how's it going there, mister? You guys big hockey fans around here? I see is your brother putting up the flag right now? You know what I mean? He's being like, dude, get out of here, knucklehead. I'm busy right now.
They know that you're a sales guy. When you knock on their door, if you have termination
So just
set on your shirt,
Get
they
to
know.
brass tacks, tell them what you're doing, and then
Be
normal
real with
with
them,
them.
and then roll with it from there. Keep going through the sales cycle with these elements. Like you can go through the sales cycle with the fact that they have kids. Like, oh, this is a child pet friendly product. How many kids do you have again? And then talk to them, and then go back into it. Talk to them, go back into it. That kind of thing. Okay. All right. What about this house?
What's with the baseball field?
No soul saving.
That's on that's right in the same neighborhood.
I was gonna say
Okay,
baseball.
Baseball. Never mind the
Dogs.
dogs.
There's just so much plant life going
Girls
on in
need
the
out
house.
there.
A lot of shrubs, right? Okay, so they don't really keep their house really nice and tidy, but at the same time that means a lot of bugs.
Wait,
They
that's
got
the
shrubbery.
baseball diamond? Is that just
That's just
nearby?
in their neighborhood, yeah.
There's 2 ways to play this. One is to be like super. You could be overly nice because you're scared of the no soliciting sign, and the fact that the owner wants to come off as like a very kind of aggressive type of guy. So you could get it right back and just be super aggressive, like, "What's up, man? I'm just a bug guy. I'm gonna be out here. If you can actually work with me, I'll do this for you." Like super quick and sharp. The other tactic would be to be way overly nice and try and like charm your way into it.
I think a big thing to take into account is, first of all, when it says no soliciting, it's not in any way a law. They just put that up because they don't want people knocking on their door, right? Which means they don't want those annoying salespeople who are just going to pitch them until they just slam the door in your face. So you got to be really chill about it and be superly overly nice, or you got to be super confident and blunt with them. Like if it was a guy that answered the door, listen, dude, I can see the sign. Don't worry about that. We're just in the area. We're servicing some of your neighbors, and this is what we're doing. I always use the neighbors. Always talk about the neighbors because obviously, well, this guy might not like his neighbors. Obviously, that's why he has these kinds of signs up. But yeah, Josh.
Or you can say, no soliciting, I do not speak Spanish.
Could do that. That's true.
I've never done that.
Yes, I have. No soliciting? I don't speak Spanish. I
what
seriously
else?
have done that.
What else do you notice about this house? For you experienced reps like Nate. Nate, For you, when you go up to a house like this, what do you normally see? For this type of house that has like a deck in the front, small.
With a house like that, you got the big trees around it. It looks like it's an older house too. That kind of house right there is probably built in the 50s, even as late as the 50s. And old houses have bugs usually, so they usually have a lot of bugs. The size of the house right there, I would make sure that I made sure that I built the value really well, because I feel like in that kind of a neighborhood right there, that's going to be the biggest seller. Right there, is having high value, because value is something that they're going to need.
Yep. Okay. Normally, when you walk up to a house like this, also in this type of a patio, up around here, they always get spider webs, always get bugs up underneath. Just be aware of that. Be ready to use that as in your ammunition. Okay. Anything else? Good. Okay. All right. What about this?
What's he holding? Mulch.
Mulch. Yeah.
Or ants.
Lots of ants.
What are these called?
Carpenter bees.
Carpenter bees? Yep.
Yeah, so this right here is carpenter bee damage. So what carpenter bees do is they look like big old black bumblebees, but they don't have furry backs. They have like a shiny, glassy back. And it's funny because when you hit them, they get knocked out for like 5 seconds and they get right back up and keep going. Like you can't kill them really, unless you like step on them and switch them. They're big old guys. They're big. They got a hard shell on them. So what carpenter bees do is they go up underneath a lot of the siding or into the woodwork, and then they drill sideways and they lay their nests in there. And then just keep drilling through, just like a carpenter ant does. Same idea.
See those little drips? Show the drips on the bottom, because a lot of times on eaves, sometimes you'll see the holes in the front, and a lot of the times they go around back underneath. So even the ones that are covered in vinyl, they still tuck themselves underneath there, and they'll drill through the back of the wood. And so where that little dripping is coming out, that's how you know that they have carpenter bees. Besides the
That's
This is
actually
their
poop and
feces.
barf.
That's
Stuff.
disgusting. All you gotta do when you see something like this, get ready to use it as ammunition and start talking about how neighbors have been seeing these carpenter bees in the area. Yeah, what they actually do. Are you guys seeing any more in like the front or in the back? And they tell you, you go show them, you're like, yeah, actually what these guys are doing is they're drilling in there, and you describe it in detail, just that piece of it, and describe what we're gonna do in detail. Super simple, and that gets them every time. Okay. What else?
shed is good. Like, we just have a shed in the back. And then she's like, you want me to throw that in for free? Yeah, like a soft close. Shed can get mice in the wintertime. They always get wasps and those little leaves and stuff back there. So it's like a whole new round of sales cycle. Yeah, for the shed.
Jeremy, what does the mulch mean?
Lots and lots of ants.
Yep, and all sorts of bugs. Like a lot of times that mulch, when it comes pre-made, it's got other bugs in it, like earwigs and little pill bugs and all sorts of little things in there. Okay. All right, what about this?
What is that? Are those rocks? The playground's tripping me out.
Yeah, like normally it might be mulch
Car tires.
or just the car tires. Yeah.
Blue car tires.
Dogs
What do you guys
sometimes
think?
bring bugs into houses.
Okay.
I'm not sure that's a lot of wood. I don't know.
So this is new construction. Josh, what would you do with new construction around the area?
In the area, when they're doing new construction, they're digging around in the dirt, and what that does is it totally causes any sort of insect activity to stir up. So you're gonna get more bugs. Sometimes mice can kind of get spooked. Those kind of areas are just money.
Money, definitely.
Really, really
If you
good.
get an area like this where new houses are surrounding certain areas that have newer developments coming up around it, that is good area. Customers a lot of times say, listen, this house is brand new. That's the best part about this service. This is for preventive care. All these houses out here in New Jersey, in Connecticut, Pittsburgh, Delaware, they have bugs. They have problems that come sooner or later. So it's not a matter of if, but when. And I love using that line all the time too. If you have a dog, obviously you gotta, what'd you say, Josh? Hedge
Hedge the concern.
the concern before they bring it up. So you bring up the fact like, oh, you have a dog, I have a dog too, or you don't have a dog. Listen, this stuff is child and pet friendly. We use it in animal centers or whatever it's called. Or something like that. Animal hospital. Okay. What about this one? Nate. This Nate. What's this?
That's voles and moles.
Voles and mole damage. So what do voles and moles do?
They eat roots. They eat the roots of the grass. They eat grubs. They eat bugs. They're just not. They're just bad. Bad
Yeah.
things.
So they go and they just wander and eat the roots and the grubs underneath the ground. And so we do take care of that, obviously. And if you see that, you know right off the bat, like they obviously have them bad, obviously. Let's see, Logan, what would you do if you see this?
He already has bugs and he's trying to fight the battle by himself. So, I mean, look what he's treating for him. Like ants, you know, he's just spraying that stuff around. So he like to use like, yeah, a lot of neighbors try and use it like $20 jug down from Walmart or something like that. You know, so that, and then there's a whole different thing you say, but just the basis that you know they have bugs. He's admitted it before he said it.
What about this? Josh, what's this?
That's like termite damage.
Probably termite or possibly even carpenter ant damage. Say that's laying in the grass in the front. Like a lot of times I see that around wooded areas and it's just like in the woods. It's not necessarily part of the house, but if you see that, what can you do?
Definitely really push the customers to buy the product and inform them on the damage that carpenter ants do, how expensive it is if they, attack their house. Explain that if they have carpenter ants at all and they ever tried to sell their house, it would not pass inspection. And if, heaven forbids, they had termites, we can help them out with that. But you really need to secure your house.
Mercedes-Benz. Pretty nice house, but in a pretty new development. There's no big trees around there, so pretty new development. Pool in the backyard, huge selling point, means they love to spend their time outside. And then they are from like the Connecticut area or something like that, so Red Sox fans. Okay?